guys, what's up? Welcome back to the I Love You So Much YouTube channel. If you guys like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and let's get started with the episode. Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome back to the podcast. If y'all are new here, my name is Kenzie. I am the host of the I Love You So Much podcast, and today we have one of my best friends, co-founder, business owner, honky-tonk loving gal. I don't know what else to, you have a lot of titles. Jessica.
Hi.
Podcaster. We're doing a little bit of a podcast swap. You guys loved the last episode with Jessica that we posted, I would say like fall time?
September, I think, yeah.
September.
I dropped like the first week I moved here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's such like a weird
You moved
thing.
here in September.
Mm-hmm. End of September.
How are you? Let's give a little life update since then. How's life going for you?
Okay,
not currently.
I threw out my back this week,
Yeah.
which is like a recurring problem for me. I have a herniated disc at age 22.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's genetic. Thanks, Daddy. Texas has been great. I've been having so much fun. I think I'm almost at like the 6-month mark, which half a year. And I was just listening to, I think maybe it was Tinks that said this, like it takes like a full year to be like, this place is my home. But I do really feel comfortable in my space, which for me, because I'm such a homebody, is really important.
Yeah.
Like I love my apartment, I love my neighborhood, I love obviously like living near you. Like I met a lot of your friends who I love. Like I really feel like I'm kind of like
I truly have the best friends in the world.
Yeah, you do have really great friends who are so nice to me. Like don't make me feel like I'm like hanging out with Kenzie's friend. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like or just like befriending me.
They're just friends with you.
Which is so nice. And not easy to come around, I feel like. And like post-grad life, like
it's so difficult.
It's really hard and it can be really lonely, I think. And I like struggle with this, like I have to force myself to go out a lot. I mean, you know, like
no. I have to force Jessica to go out a lot. We actually just made this TikTok that she like doesn't even think is that funny.
No, I think it's
I'll
funny.
let you know. No, Lauren already commented and said it was funny within seconds. It's this whole honky tonk thing. If you guys are watching on YouTube, here's the hat, all right? Go to the text. I posted it onto my reels already. Like, it's so funny.
No, it is funny.
It's about me honky tonking until 2 a.m. A girl's got a nap. And Jessica, she comes when she feels like it, which is fine. You know what? There was a time in my life where I did not leave my house for 2 years.
I
was
just
also
like,
miserable.
I have boundaries with myself and my anxiety. I just know like if I would let myself rage all weekend and I would be an anxious mess for the 7 days after, and I'm like, sometimes it's not worth it. Sometimes it is. Special occasions, there's moments where I'm like, I gotta get out, I gotta go do my thing. And it's like the anxiety is worth it. Like people's birthdays, holidays, if I'm with like my sisters when I'm never with them.
Things like that.
Yeah. Like I'll go hard, I really will. And like I'm a fun time when I'm drunk. I think I really am.
Well, the thing that, okay, I was kidding when I had to force you. Like, I actually go through phases. I would say in the past year and a half, I'm definitely in, this is the phase that I'm in. Club, buzz, party bus, Billy Bob's, bus, bar. Then during the week, work 24/7 in a healthy way. Read a lot, Pilates, my skin confidential ice roller, start new companies, start new businesses, and then bus, club, bus.
Yeah. I also like, I've just never been a party girl. Like I wasn't a party girl in high school. I wasn't a party girl in college. And I'm not a party girl really in my post-grad life. Like I honestly go out to like hang out with you guys. Like I'm not like going out to rage. Also because I get probably the world's worst hangovers literally ever. I don't think that I've ever drank more than 4 drinks and not been hungover. It's an awful problem. I could drink the nicest tequila. I could literally be drinking straight tequila, no mixers, no anything all night long, and I would still have a raging hangover the next day.
Have you ever tried my hangover pills?
Yeah, I tried them on my birthday.
Still don't work?
Oh my god, my birthday, because my birthday's on New Year's Day, so like we'll rage on New Year's Eve. And this year I to be fair, like I did myself so dirty. I was drinking so many different things. We played this,
well, that's the problem.
We played this game called Rage Cup, something like that. And
King's Cup or Rage Cup?
No, I don't know. Rage Cage.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody kept like, once you finish your cup, you can like you can like choose you put your cup next to him, because it was my birthday. Everyone was putting their cups next to me, so I was chugging these disgusting Truly iced tea things while I was drinking a margarita that I made myself, and then I made everyone drink champagne, and then I drank a beer at the end of the night just to like cap it all off. Which is an awful idea, and I was really sick, so like I postponed my birthday the next day. Like I was so hungover, I said to everyone, it's not my birthday today, tomorrow's my birthday.
I have gotten so good at watching how much I drink, because I will say my hangovers are so bad, but again, I am a party girl through and through, but it just depends on what year of my life you catch me in. Last week I had the worst hangover I've had in, probably like 7 months. It was, It was the worst experience of my life. Like
Last weekend?
Yeah, Sunday.
Oh.
It was rough. It was a good night though. I don't regret it. Yeah. I saw this TikTok. This is probably toxic. This is my new thing. I think the word toxic is so stupid that like now I just keep saying it. Anyways, this TikTok is probably toxic, but it was, I'm not that I'm promoting this to y'all, but it was something along the lines of like, memories last forever. A hangover lasts 24 hours.
Yeah.
Tops?
Yeah.
So that's my toxic way of thinking.
I've had a hangover that lasts more than 24 hours, but like, I get the premise, but
that is crazy.
That's
also,
like people being like, spend all your money, you'll make it back. And I'm like, it's an awful precedent, but like, am I following that precedent?
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
I think it's probably the worst advice you could get. But I'm feeling good about it. Also, by the way, it's the Okind launch day. We haven't even said that yet. We're 5 minutes, almost 6 minutes into this episode.
Oops.
So Jessica and I launched a clothing brand. We have been talking about this since
2019.
Yeah, did we meet 2019? Because you started school. Okay, so we went to college together. We interned in college. For those of you guys who are maybe new, don't know, don't listen, whatever. So we interned in college together. We originally had this idea. Do you want to just tell the story? Because I'm kind of breezing through this.
Yeah. So we like, we wear similar clothing items. We have like pretty different senses of style. I mean, we're sitting here and basically, if you're watching, the same outfit, but just like different.
And like I still have my cowboy hat on.
Yeah. But it's like same things, different vibes. That's kind of like always been our thing.
Yeah.
And so we like always are both wearing matching like sweat sets, specifically from Aritzia. I feel like Aritzia deserves like a credit in our lives, but and basically we were like, we could do this better. Like we were wearing things and we were like, we could do this better. And we kind of had this idea to start this company, and then Kenzie moved to Texas, and then COVID happened, and we kind of like put a halt on it.
And like tabled it for the time being.
Yeah. And then...
And I also at that point, like, so much about my life was changing. I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I always knew if I was going to start a company, on my end, I didn't want to do like an influencer clothing brand to where it's my face, I just tell you what I want, and then everyone else, which, okay, I will say, like, okay, this is kind of confusing, but typically with an influencer clothing brand, there's a lot of other companies that will come in and be like, hey, we want to run operations, you can do creative, whatever, which essentially is what is happening with me and Jessica.
Right.
That is what's happening. However, it's different because we are co-founders, it's us together. I wanted to do it with a friend, and I know you're the whole like don't work with your friends thing, whatever. The only person in the world that I would work with was you.
Yeah.
So it was also like I didn't want to do a certain influencer company, but always in the back of my head I was like, if I start something in the clothing space, I knew that it would be with you.
Yeah.
So that was just tabled for the time being.
Yeah, and I mean, over quarantine, I kind of decided that I wanted to do something, and I was willing to like do it myself. And then Kenzie, like, as I'm like, I had started the branding for it. I was like already working with a graphic designer, and Kenzie texted me and was like, okay, like I'm ready. I think we should do something if you're still down. And I was like, so funny. I just like had this idea, and I started kind of talking to my dad about it and stuff like that. So he was like, I was kind of starting to write a business plan, like super beginnings of everything. But all I picked was like a name and like the color scheme of what I want the branding to look like.
So for the people who ask how we came up with the name, we didn't, Jessica did. We're gonna get into questions more about the Okind later. I just have a few other things I want to talk about.
Okay.
I just have some things that I need to share with the class.
Okay.
I would love to let everyone know that I have developed a new personality trait.
Do I know what it is?
It is my aura ring.
Oh my god. I literally asked her about before we sat down, and she's like, wait, we'll talk about it later. Like,
It's not sponsored, by the way. I wish it was. By the way, the amount of people who replied to my story of people that I knew, it's like so embarrassing. Friends who were like, oh my god, are you doing that deal too?
And you're like,
I was like, no.
You're doing a deal?
I paid for this.
You're getting paid to talk about this.
I was like, oh wow, I'm doing more than you for free. So Aura, if you want to hit me up.
For real.
You ring, what is it, ring my line.
Yeah.
Do I sound like I'm 60?
Ring my line, I don't think that's it.
I don't think that's it either.
No.
It's Friday afternoon, I'm kind of delusional. Anyways, I feel on top of the world. It's one of those things where if I can do one thing well, it's make everything that I like into a personality trait.
That is true.
Texas, Pink, Dolly Parton, country music. I mean, look at me right now.
Breadwinning housewife.
Breadwinning housewife? Oh, I literally did that. So anyways, my aura ring is my newest thing. Have you ever thought about one?
Yeah, but I wear rings on my 2 middle fingers, and I don't want to put one on my ring finger because I think that's bad luck.
Oh, mine's on my ring finger.
On your right?
Not on my left hand.
Oh, no. I'm on my left hand, but
bad luck, like you're never gonna get married.
I don't know. I'm like not a weird superstitious person, but like my grandma said it to me one time. She's Italian and she's so superstitious. Like she knocks on wood every time you say something. Mm-hmm. So like she kind of freaked me out a little.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I'm not gonna wear anything on my ring finger ever until it's an engagement ring.
Yeah.
On my real ring finger, my left hand.
Yeah. But I wouldn't put, and it would clink on my ring. That's the only thing. But like, could you wear it? I don't. Like, a thumb ring feels a little bit too much for me.
Yeah, and I think you're technically supposed to wear it on your middle and your pointer finger. One of the two, but like it fits my ring finger.
Aren't there sizes?
It's working. Yeah, but I'm so impatient. Of course, I'm not gonna wait. I was already waiting a week for this to arrive. You think I'm gonna send it back for a different size? I was so excited. I was checking my tracking every single day.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Wait, I would buy one because like I can't be wearing an Apple Watch. My dad wanted an Apple Watch at work. He always comes home with the weirdest shit. From
my
work.
Dad always.
Like it's like there was a raffle. I'm like, who's participating in a raffle in the middle of a work day?
They used to have like something points, and then I'm not kidding. We had probably like 17 Keurigs that were just because he was the boss. Everyone back when everyone would like send them like the Nespressos and whatever.
Yeah.
Because it was all like the point system. I think I don't know.
But that's so funny. No, my dad just like was constantly like participating in raffles and coming home with like literally Apple Watches. And he'd be like, I don't want it. So like my brother took it, and then I took the Apple Watch, and I wore it for like 3 days, and I was like, I literally will not wear this.
I can't wear an Apple Watch, and also.
I don't really like the way they look.
They're not my vibe. I've considered getting one like a billion different times.
Same.
The reason I wanted the Oura ring mainly was to focus on my sleep because, you know, me, the health queen, as we've discussed, you know, there's part of me that is, you know, honky-tonkin' until it's about 2 a.m. And then there's another part of me that is an Oura ring, walk, hot girl walk, Pilates sort of girl. That's the whole point of Breadwinning Housewife, by the way, is you can be both.
Yeah, I think you can do it all.
Me specifically? Yes, thank you.
Everyone can, bitch.
That was so nice of you. Because every time I drink coffee, I start coughing.
Is it a specific type of milk or even black coffee does it to you?
Any coffee.
Oh, because sometimes like milk, no, sorry, this is gross, like makes you like kind of flubby. So that sometimes would make, but like.
Even black coffee though.
Oh, okay, so then I don't know what that is. Maybe you like have a little bit of an intolerance to coffee. You ever thought about that?
I mean, no, I probably do, but that's not going to change anything.
Oh, of course not. Imagine if someone told me I couldn't drink coffee anymore.
Yeah, you probably would lose your mind. Do you think that we would have been friends in high school?
I don't know.
I think you wouldn't like me in high school, but here's the thing.
Because you loved high school, like this is the thing.
No, but when I was in high school, I didn't. I didn't actually like high school.
I was also never there. Like
Me neither. I wouldn't.
But you were like class president.
Yes.
Stuff. But even having to think about school for more than the amount of time that I was there was nauseating to me. I spent as little time as possible. I literally only graduated because my dean loved me enough to like not count any of my absences. Like I literally was never there, and there were girls who were like, go Ward, like fully dressed up and all this shit, like in like the student section of basketball games. I went to one basketball game in all of high school, and I only went to volleyball games when my sister Alyssa played volleyball for like her freshman and sophomore year, and then her junior and senior year she was the manager for the boys volleyball team, so I went to some of those games. But I never went to a football game. Like I literally spent as little possible time as I could at Fairfield Ward High School.
Okay, so your picture of me in high school is completely wrong. One, I was class president and class favorite. Thank you very much.
Like I don't even know half people in my school knew who I was.
No, listen, this is the thing about me, is that I am friends with all kinds of people. Like, I was always the floater, so I actually think we would have been friends, but I wasn't this, like, high school peppy girl. First off, I was class president at one point to get out of school more. Mm-hmm. When you're president, that means you do less work. You tell everyone else to do that. Like, that's what you do. The other thing is that I missed so much school. I didn't like high school so much. I graduated a full year early.
Yeah,
And I was always in court. I literally went to court for truancy, which is not going to school. Like, I didn't go to school, but I worked the system. I knew what to do. You gotta work smarter, not harder.
I mean, I didn't go either, but they definitely didn't take me to court. I had like 65 absences at the end of my senior year.
Yeah.
I got all these slips too. He handed them to me, but he traded them for me for my tapping down. And I had to go pick it up. He's like, I got something for you.
Yeah. Ooh. Our school, here's the thing, like our high school itself was actually just really fun and had really cool traditions.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have felt that way about another school. It was more specifically the traditions that were really cool. But the one thing about me that I try to really not be anymore, I feel like I was so ready to grow up for so long. Mm-hmm. And in high school, I was once I started YouTube and it started like doing well,
Right.
I was gone. Like I was not involved. I didn't do so many things that I kind of wish I would have like. I feel like in any situation, if the more you lean into it, the more you like it.
Totally.
And I wish I would have just leaned into it more. I mean, like, whatever. But I didn't love high school in the way that you think. Like, me being class president was me getting away with murder and leaving school to run errands for it, aka I just didn't go.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's interesting. I just also, like, all that to say, like, I was friends with a lot of people in high school, not, like, best friends, and not, like, people that I really didn't hang out with, but, like, every single class, if it was, like, oh, get a partner, like, I always had 3 people that I could pick from. Like, I was friendly with a lot of people, and I think I'm, like, a decently, like, easy person to like when I'm not, like, I also, like, I don't know.
No, you're very likable.
I think that when I don't care enough, like, I kind of just, like, exert this very, like, even keeled personality. Like, I could get a little wild if you know me pretty well, and a little maybe polarizing, but, like, when I'm, like, just chilling,
I
like,
would not say you're polarizing.
Really?
Not in the slightest.
Wow.
At all.
Oh.
Yeah. I also had this realization the other day that I'm never, I don't know, I mean, Jessica is new to TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've seen it, but on TikTok there's these like aesthetic TikTok audios, typically like Emma Chamberlain or my friend Peyton, and they say these things so well, they articulate their thoughts so well, their voices are so calming, people put some clips on, that's just never gonna be me. Ever.
Like you think you have like a soothing voice that people are
No,
like,
and sometimes people tell me that I do, and I'm like, really? And they're like, no, I promise you, you do. And I'm like, maybe I am just like a comfort to you, but my voice is not a comfort. But people say things, and one, I say like too much. Two, it just would never be me. It will never be me, and I think it's important to know your strengths.
Totally.
And that's
did you see what's her name, JC Marie's TikTok, where she was saying she was sitting on the plane and some guy turned around and told her she sounded stupid for saying like.
And then they talked about the Kardashians the rest of it.
That is so iconic. I would actually die. I think I like want to, like, I wish I could print out a TikTok and frame it.
JC Marie Smith is the funniest person on that app. Like,
she's really funny.
There is no one funny. We comment, I think, on every single TikTok of each other's. Great podcast too. We've done 2 swaps actually together, I think. But I love her, and she's the funniest person that's ever.
Yeah, she has no idea who I am, but I watch all of her TikToks.
Yeah, because she's so fucking funny.
She's so fucking funny.
She's so funny. Okay, so I'm thinking that maybe we should kind of get into talking about the Okheim.
Okay.
And more importantly, I kind of want to bring it back to me.
Of course you do.
You know? Yeah. So I was in therapy yesterday.
Okay.
Well, actually, no. Let me take you back even further. Yesterday morning, I was driving to Pilates.
Mm-hmm.
It was about 8 a.m.
Okay.
And you know me, my brain really is going in the mornings.
Yeah, do I ever? I wake up to text Kenzie all the time.
Because I'll be on a walk or something, and all of a sudden, I have 17 ideas and so many different things, and I just send them off.
Yeah.
I just, it's what you gotta do. But anyways, I was on a drive, and I was thinking, I'm an Enneagram 3.
Okay.
Which is the achiever.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 wing 2. So I am the overachiever, and then my wing is 2, which is a supporter. So I want to overachieve, and then I want to help all my friends overachieve, which is the easiest way to describe me. If you were going like work ethic wise, that is me.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3's backstory, their biggest fear is failure. And I've always had a hard time, like, I never really felt connected to that.
Okay.
Because I don't think I really fear failure. But I recently realized, I think it's because I don't allow myself to fail.
Yeah, have you ever, like, actually failed at something?
No.
Career-wise?
No.
Yeah.
And I've never, even before that, like, I was thinking back to, like, my younger days, and this is how ingrained and crazy this is. Mm-hmm. So if you guys have seen the show Cheer, Navarro, love them.
I have not seen it, but I understand the premise.
So just like competitive cheer in Texas is a really crazy thing. Yeah. I grew up in McKinney, which is where basically I grew up within like 30 minutes of all of the top teams, right? Okay. So I moved to McKinney in the 4th grade, and that was when I did competitive cheer when I was younger, and then we moved, and I was like, okay, I want to do this, but these teams were like more competitive, and I was in the 4th grade, okay, and I didn't want to start at a new like competitive cheer thing because I thought I was too old to start something new. In the 4th grade.
How old are you in 4th grade, like 8?
Yeah, I mean, and people start sports in middle school. But I thought, like, if you didn't start when you were in kindergarten, and I think that also is a product of growing up in Texas, especially North Texas, sports here, it's just one of the most competitive regions.
Yeah, that's, like, not it's not true. Like, sports are, like, people, like, wear me like, play with cross and stuff, but it's, like, no. Not competitive cheer.
Yeah, well, sports in general in Texas are just crazy. You play 4 years on up, but like really competitive. Anyways, so I was just really thinking, I'm like, I think even in certain relationships, I definitely now see how
that manifests.
Yes, that's exactly what I said to my therapist. It's like, I see how how fear of failure has manifested in my life, and it's highlighting, like I'm thinking about it now, because starting in the O kind, it's crazy. Well, there are two different polar personalities within myself. One end, I think I can do anything, which I would say is largely more, not in a cocky way, but just I really believe in myself. Like I'm like, I can do this.
I think that's a great quality.
So there's one part of me who's like, oh, it's gonna sell out, it's gonna be totally great, everything's gonna go well, whatever. And then there's another part of me that will be like, we're gonna sell 20 units and that's it.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because I have the numbers for sales for my other stuff, and it's nowhere near 20 units.
Yeah.
But I just get so in my head. And another reason this got brought up recently, we're talking about doing live shows for the podcast, and this was really, I think, when it spiraled. Because with the O kind, I was more comfortable with it. Live shows, ticket sales, that's something I'm totally new to.
Foreign territory.
Yes, foreign territory. And I was like, oh my god, we have to sell this many tickets in New York. Like, that stressed me out to the max level. Not to the point, the thing that's interesting is that it's not to the point where I will take myself out of the game now. And also, it's weird because I have, out of everyone around me, besides my friends who do the same thing that I do, I have taken the weirdest, most untraditional life path to where you really have to believe in yourself. You really have to, like, there's so many negatives.
And there's so much chance in it.
There's so much chance. There's, like, I, out of everyone, did the most, like, courageous, not courageous, but, like,
out of the box thing.
And I just was like, oh, I'm gonna do it. And there was no possibility of failure in my mind. It wasn't even in the back of my head.
It's probably like a really good thing about starting a career so young. It's like when you're young,
so
you're really fearless and you're really naive because you don't even understand like the weight of the world in general. But like to be able to be like 17 and make a life choice and you're stuck. So like now you're like, it probably actually kind of kills you too in a way because you're like, you were successful at the first real thing you did.
Yeah.
And that's like not most people's reality.
Very true.
Like I dropped out of college 2 months after I went. Like that's, and there's, you know what I mean? Like there's things that you're like sure are gonna work and then they don't and you're like, fuck.
That's true. It's also like there are obviously things that I've failed in. I just think largely career-wise, what I'm good at is business. Like I am very good at marketing, branding, like things like that. Creating community, like everything that worked out from like my internet thing. But I will say now I'm noticing, and I think too because the things that I've been working on for almost the past decade of my life are now like this has been a very big year career-wise for me. Not even with the Okai, just even like Kenzie Elizabeth stuff. That now it's just getting bigger, and now I'm like it's crazy. It's not crippling at all because I'm not gonna just not do it. Like even when I'm really scared, I'm like, if I'm scared of something, that means I need to do it more. I do force myself to do it, but now I've noticed my fear of failure. You know?
Yeah, you know what's funny? My dad's also Enneagram 3.
That makes sense.
He totally is. I'm a 1 wing 2, which also makes
a lot of sense.
So much sense. It literally is our company split in 2. We both have wings 2. That's probably that we like have a great overlap. That's like we like probably are like if we were to pitch ourselves, like we're a match made in heaven.
Absolutely. We really are. Yes.
Our strengths outweigh each other's weaknesses so well.
Yeah.
It's actually crazy. And that's why I think it's like you probably shouldn't work with your friends most of the time because what are the odds that it?
I have so many friends and I would not work with them.
Yeah.
But I would work with you.
Thanks.
You know?
Yeah, it kind of stuck with me now.
We haven't covered that yet. Yeah, what's your biggest fear as a 1? Not that, I mean, it doesn't have to be Enneagram, but do you know?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think my fears in general, like I have, like, this like plays into a lot of different things, but I grew up with a lot of anxiety and I grew up in a very like black and white world. And so, which is like hard because like 99% of the world is gray. And I live in this space of there's right and wrong and there's like a correct path. And I think for a really long time I was afraid of like straying off of the path. And I think that still now, like I have like kind of a trajectory I want my life to go on. And I do like fear like not living up to that, even though like the timelines I give myself are absolutely ridiculous. Like I just want you to know that like I was going through my calendar the other day to plan stuff, you know, for launch, and I'm looking and I have a date bookmarked on June 4th, which is a Saturday, and I click on it and I'm like, this is so weird, what is it for? I had like bookmarked a day that I like tentatively wanted to get married on, which was this year, June 4th.
My God.
Because I would be graduating from college.
Big green by spring girl over here.
Like, I just was so brainwashed to like think a certain way, and so like even now still, it gave me like a little bit of like a twinge of like, I still don't even have a boyfriend. But I'm like, oh my God, I'm 22.
Yeah.
Chill. So like things like that I'm afraid of, but also I think like in business, my parents have been so supportive of me, and like even just like my life right now, like they pay my rent for me, like super candidly, sorry, but like I still don't have a job. Like I'm like living in this like space where I'm like, I feel kind of like I'm not doing anything, even though I'm working every single day on a company that's like just not making money yet. And so I'm kind of in this space of like, I feel like I'm letting them down a little bit sometimes, and I know that I'm not. Like, I know that like they are so nice.
No, they will quite literally say that she's not, but I get it. It's in your
like,
head.
Yeah, and because like my parents just my whole life provided so much for me, and my dad like worked so hard to like give us such a good life and like be able to like do what we do and like live the way that we do now. So I just like so badly want him to be so proud of me, because like I know that like what he wants is for us to be like doing like fun things and doing what we want. I don't think he wants us to be like, he's not like, you have to go into, you know, like finance and make $1 million a year. Like he doesn't give a fuck about that. He just like wants us to be successful and have fun. But like still sometimes I'm like, oh, does he wish I was doing something else? And like that kind of, and it's like too, like where I grew up is very, the Northeast is just like, and I know it's like this in other places, but like so stereotypically it's like this in the Northeast of like, you grow up, you get like, you graduate, you probably go to a Big Ten school or you go to an Ivy school, like you join a sorority, you do all these things, and then you graduate, like you get a job, you get married, and you move right back to where you're from. Like that's exactly what Fairfield County is, like, and it's like the same people that have lived there forever, like just like generations and generations of like people doing the exact same thing. And I just like I didn't want to do that. And I like pretended that I did, and I went to college for 2 months, and I was like, I literally can't do this. Like, I cannot pretend to do this, and that's also scary.
For those who don't know, Jessica, when she's talking about dropping out of college, she's talking about the school before the one that we met at.
Yeah. I went to,
She did graduate college after.
I did. I just graduated this December. But, like, I went to, like, an in-person university. I, like, lived in a dorm.
It was not
for 2 months, and I'm not cut out for that.
Something that helps me a lot too when I'm thinking of fear of failure, or we have an entire podcast episode I recorded with Margot Lee about pressure on the phases of your life, especially in your 20s, because everyone can relate to this. Like thinking that you need to be married at a certain point, or you need to be a millionaire. From the same
county too. We're from the same area, so it's similar vibes.
But that's just like a common theme in the podcast. People talk about it all the time. Like everyone just feels like they need to be somewhere at a certain age, which is kind of crazy.
Totally.
But something I tell myself all the time is life is long. It's the longest thing we're ever going to experience. There are business ideas and things that I want to do in my life that will probably be the biggest thing ever as I get older. It'll be bigger and bigger and bigger, hopefully, right?
Right.
So there are things that I'm going to end up wanting to do that I'll be so passionate about that I don't even know that I'm interested in right now.
Right.
You know?
Totally.
And so when I think that way of like, oh, and also I even look at, the Kardashians have been highlighted so much recently because of the new show.
Yeah.
They're talking about all the failed businesses before. Not that I want a failed business at all, and I don't think that that's
totally
what's happening with us. But there are just so many things.
Like stepping stones.
Stepping stones. And also, failure is not a bad thing, like reframing it. Not that I'm saying we're failing. I just mean like in general, the overarching theme of failure in life. It's just, I don't know, it's interesting. When I reframe it, I can get myself out of it. But life is long. There are so many people you're going to meet, so many things you're going to do that are going to impact you so greatly and be such a huge part of your life.
Totally.
That they're not even in your
sphere yet.
Your sphere yet. So that helps me, you know?
That's positive.
Okay, I want to answer some questions about the Okind.
Okay.
Today, the Okind launched. It's just crazy.
It's really crazy.
We've been seriously working on this, I think, almost a full year at this point.
Yeah.
It is so much to start a business, obviously.
It's so much of
getting
everything.
samples.
Yeah.
We didn't, ours is cut, and so we didn't just it's not like a screen printing business, or we didn't just get a blank of something to sell. We couldn't, that was just not what we're doing for our business. So it took a long time. Anyways, today the Dallas set is available.
Mm-hmm.
The top, the bottoms,
yeah,
and the tote.
If you're watching on YouTube, Kenzie's wearing the top.
Yeah. How would you describe them?
The sets?
Yeah.
Describe them like vibe-wise.
Yeah.
I would say they're like the perfect like lounge to out situation, because like I have and do wear them in my house working, like hanging out doing nothing, but then it's like, you know, take off the pants, put on a pair of jeans, throw on a cute top with the top over it, and like you're going out, you wear heels, like they totally, like they're very
you can wear it to Pilates, you can wear it out too.
Yeah, they're very versatile. Like we talk about this all the time too, like the tops and the bottoms also like make great beach cover-ups. If you're wearing a beach cover-up, like bottom with the bikini top is so cute, and top with no bottom, like in a bathing suit underneath it, also so cute, like, or wearing a whole entire set to the beach, whatever, like, but also like with like we've been wearing them with Skims bodysuits, game changers.
They're 100% cotton,
like oversized, relaxed fit.
Yeah, these this drop was made in the US. They're made in Los Angeles. Yeah, I mean, I live in them. The tote bag too, I will say.
Oh my god, it's so good. I just brought it over here with all my stuff.
Yeah, and literally on the chair next to yours is mine, because I use it 24/7, and we've given them to a few friends so far, and I've got nothing but like I use this every day.
We've heard great things.
It is the best tote bag ever, and I'm
like,
not just saying that because it's mine.
Right, and it's like a good canvas, not super thick, but sturdy. I don't like ones that are like too structured, you know?
Yeah, and there's like no move or give.
Yeah.
Okay, so people are saying, how much did you save up before you were able to start making moves?
Okay.
I put in...
Are we like saying how much we actually put
I feel like we can.
I put in $15,000.
I put in 27. So, no, wait, because I did an extra 15 loan. So if you put 15 in, then I put 30. Yeah. So it was $50,000 to start. It's really expensive.
It's really, really expensive, you guys.
It's very expensive. Clothing is incredibly expensive. Which, another thing too, I'm just anticipating, I know we're gonna get flack for price, which has been a big anxiety of mine with it, because
you have a lot more anxiety about it than I do, but that's because you live in a world of feedback and I do not.
Yeah, yes, and it's not normal. Like people, it's just we both live in like different worlds, and to a certain extent.
Yeah.
To where like I would rather buy something of quality than like fast fashion if I'm gonna keep it forever, and like not everyone feels that way.
Totally.
But I was worried because obviously like the thing that is annoying when an influencer starts a clothing brand is that they just want the clothing brand to be like merch pricing or whatever it is, or like super cheap.
Like the audience wants it to be.
The audience wants it to be, and it's annoying because like just because I'm an influencer doesn't mean that I shouldn't be able to start a clothing brand like the rest of the world is able to.
Like, are you going to call Aritzia and be like, why is your shirt so expensive? Like,
yeah, and people don't realize too, like, how expensive it is. We didn't want to budge on quality. You have to run a business. Like, I would love for stuff to be incredibly cheap, but like we did it would be horrible.
We went back and forth, you guys, for literally so long, and it's just like either we make things so cheap that like we're basically breaking even, and then we have no money to make product. Like I don't think people understand. Like,
we're not taking money from the company. This
we
is
are making no money.
Company.
Like we just need money to like buy our, like to continue to make stuff. Like material is expensive. Like quality is expensive. Like we are not just like pumping random shit out to you guys and putting a $130 stamp on it because we feel like it. Like we have to be making money so that we can continue to make product. If we were making something one time, it would be so different. Like this isn't, but that's not what this is. We want longevity. We want to continue to make great quality things. And so like this is just like, it is what it is.
And like this is a clothing brand. Like this is not a Kenzie Elizabeth line. This is a separate company. It is a totally separate business endeavor. Obviously, Kenzie Elizabeth greatly impacts it. Like we wouldn't have customers without it, and we're so grateful for that. But I just seeing my friends who have done it, who always say this, it's like there's just always going to be flack, and like the prices are fair,
and they're honestly as cheap as we could. Like
yes, literally it is the cheapest that we could have gone.
Otherwise we would have made no money. Like
no money, and then we wouldn't be able to like do the company. That's part of like a business. So it's not obviously a merch line. This is a totally separate like clothing company brand that like hopefully Kenzie Elizabeth doesn't even have to like keep like post it. Like I said that a third person, but I mean the company Kenzie Elizabeth. I want it to stand on its own and have a different even like following than me.
Right.
And we want it to be sold in like Revolve and Nordstrom, and like we see like a big vision with this that is separate from me.
Right.
And that's why we're very adamant. it's just a separate business endeavor.
Totally.
I just know that that's another thing. Another thing, we are extending sizing as soon as we possibly can.
Yes, it's our number one priority.
It is our number one priority. People just don't realize how expensive it is.
And we have to get stuff, like, you have to get a whole other cut, basically.
You have a different SKU for extended sizing.
Like, it is not like we could just be like, okay, now we want this in a 3XL. Like, it's basically getting a whole other thing done. And we honestly...
Essentially, it's another clothing piece out of the collection. It would not be this... It is sold as the same top, but, like, to get the dimensions right, it's a different piece. So that adds so much cost, too.
Right, and it's just, like... We want that to be a thing so badly, I promise. Like, it's the top of our list when we have the budget to. It's just like, in order to have money to do that, we need to make money, and the only way for us to make money is to sell product. Like, I mean, I can only speak for myself. I'm not a bottomless pit of cash. I don't have a trust fund kicking in, you know, in the next couple of years where I can, like, fund all of this. Like, I gave it everything I have, and so, like, that's all that we can do at this point, and the only way that we can continue to expand in everything. And, like, we're dropping one item, we're not dropping 16, because we're not loaded with cash. Like, it's not like we're dropping 4 items. When
we're also completely self-funded, which is important too.
Oh, yeah. We took no investor money.
Yeah.
Just us.
So it's just us. And, like, this... Also, by the way, with us, we each put in an equal amount, and then I put in an extra that's a loan.
Yeah.
But it's from me. So, like, it's equal, and then, like, that will come back to me. Just to...
Right, because we're like, we are actually, like, 50-50 partners.
Yeah.
That's, like, also a good question I see a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I'm not, like, Kenzie's assistant.
Yeah. Okay,
She wishes I was her assistant.
No. No. I'm trying to think of working with clothes or anything. So, like, we've covered a lot of the questions. Let me look through. Okay, so how are you feeling? As of right now, we're recording this 13 days away from launch. Mm-hmm. So now that it's out, I mean, how are you feeling in this current moment?
Like 13 days out, how am I feeling?
Yeah.
I'm feeling good. I think about it a lot when I'm, like, laying in bed. Because, like, you know, I have clinical anxiety. So all I do is, like, think. I'm a chronic overthinker. But I have, which is something that doesn't come easily to me, but I have a lot of peace about the situation. Mm-hmm. And I think that a lot of that had to do with us, like, shooting, having, like, the products, like, on my body, like, wearing them, like, all that stuff, like, really put a lot of peace of mind, like, in that, like... And I mean, we say this as we're making the clothes, but it's like, I am genuinely making something that I would want to wear.
Yeah.
And I know that there are thousands of other people that dress the way that I do and, like, would want to buy it. And so, like, being able to, like, the more we style the pieces and the more they're, like, just incorporated into my wardrobe, I'm like, we, like, made good shit. Like, that, like, I lay my head on my pillow at night and I'm like, we made a great product that I'm really proud of, and I know people are going to buy it.
Yeah.
And, like, that's, like, so that's, I'm feeling, like, confident in that sense, but also, like, obviously just a little bit nervous. Also, like, I don't even know if we even said this, like, I'm running, like, the operations side of the company, so, like...
I actually wanted to go into this next. So
oh, okay. Yeah, so, like, which is a whole new territory for me. I've never, like, really... I'm a very, like, administrative-minded person, and, like I said, like, I'm an Enneagram 1. Like, I'm very, like... I'm type A, like, in this sort of sense. I think whatever. It's a little weird, but... like, my strengths are, like, organization and administration, and so, like... I'm handling that side of the business, but there are, like, things that come with owning a business that are totally new to me, like purchase orders and invoices and, like...
Oh, there's so many times that we've been on business calls and have to, like, Google what a word means.
No,
like,
that's...
What? Yeah.
Like, someone saying PO.
We literally are like, what's a PO?
What is PO?
Yeah, no.
What's a SKU number? Like, there's so many things I just, like, I needed to learn, and it's, like, there's a learning curve in life, like, in general, but, like, like, I'm learning a lot of new things. I'm doing all, like, shipping, which is a whole entire thing, like, having to make, like, a FedEx account, like, all that stuff, like, getting all that in line, setting up our Shopify so I can print out, like, buying a thing to print our shipping labels. Like, there's just a lot of stuff.
There's constantly something to do.
Always something to do. Like, I'm sitting at home organizing, because, like, I don't have a job, so, like, all I do is, like, I podcast for my own podcast, and I do stuff for the yoga, and I, like, have to keep myself busy, otherwise I'll die.
And then my part of the business is a lot of marketing. I would say overall it's community marketing. Another thing we're doing leading up, all social media, all collaborations, gifting, what's the word I'm looking for? I would say my network is the number one thing that's been so helpful, which is, like, so...
Totally.
Like, every single thing I will say, thank God for this podcast, because almost... besides, like, my friendships that are, like, sending me PR and things like that, like, every single connect that we've had that has gotten us where we're at has been somehow through the podcast.
That's so nice.
The podcast world. So shout out. Yeah, so mine's a lot of like, it's creative, social media, marketing, collaboration, PR, that stuff, whatever. Jessica's administrative, more emails, which we both like equally do emails, but like shipping, it's the
also like
operations.
In the beginning part, we were both kind of splitting operations because there wasn't much of anything else to do. But now that we're like, before launch, we're not like posting on social stuff or like doing anything with social really, like, or like the 6 months before. Yeah. But we were like constantly emailing with our manufacturer and setting stuff up and doing all of that, like setting up purchase orders and stuff. But now that like launch is happening, like it is more of like a 50-50 on our roles.
Yeah. Well, also just because like I also had like a full career outside of it, so we had to see like what made more sense. Mm-hmm. And also now that we had our shoot and have all this, like I've been doing so much for all the socials that would now have been up, that it just became like way more time consuming on that end.
Yeah, it happened really quick for you, like the pick up to that was really fast.
Very quick. So before we were splitting operations, then it went more to which was always going to happen because those are our natural strengths.
Yeah. We
knew we worked well together because we interned together in college. We were always paired up together. Mm-hmm. And then we do, it's kind of as of right now, it is a little bit more all hands on deck. Like I'll help with the first launch shipping. After that though, I'm out of town all the time.
Right.
So like it wouldn't make sense to have to do it around my travel schedule anyways, because we would just never have another launch. And then also, we're doing it out of my garage for the time being. I know that's gonna be a question. And we're hoping to get an office space soon.
That's the hope.
That's the hope. So like Jessica said, we're not saying too, like, okay, starting a clothing company, like you can't really we're not inventing a new style of clothing. Like people have always had like poplin tops, things like that. So that's also, by the way, we're going to expand into other items.
No, we're just making these shirts in every single color.
But for the first few months, we do have like reiterations of it.
Yeah.
And then we are sampling other things. Like it's not going to be that forever. But we wanted to start a clothing company that it's kind of like a uniform. Like I wear something from them because I also have the samples right now. Like I wear something from us every single day. And as someone who gets an insane amount of PR and clothing sent to me, I was also thinking this. I have a turnover of like donating or giving to friends pretty quickly, which is not something I'm proud of, but I also don't ask for all this that's sent to me. Right. And this I constantly go back to. I don't rewear stuff that often, and I rewear this stuff all the time. So that's been a big thing. Another thing is we wanted like a very strong community. Mm-hmm. So another thing that we're doing before launch, which would have already happened, is we are messaging girls in our Geneva chat for the O-Kind. So join that because we like asked for patterns, what you guys think of this design.
We literally sent previews of this shit like
months ago.
Months before we launched, before we posted photos of it.
Yeah, you guys could have known everything way before. Yeah. But for those girls, we're having a little like pizza, like ranch water kind of party. We're doing that stuff, so I wanted to just be like a big community. I'm just so community oriented. I think that's the Texan in me. Yeah, but also just like business wise, it's just so much more fulfilling, rewarding.
I think it's also like
it's just more practical too.
Yeah, and like feedback is better when there's a community, I think, and we like want to be continually making products that you guys like and want to buy. Yeah. Because like we're just two people, and like while we do have like somewhat different styles, like we're not like wearing like unbelievably different things from each other, so like we do need a little bit of variety. Like we need input from you guys of like what you guys want to see, and so like we can't do that just the two of us. So community is like a huge thing for us. We also have another event next month. You guys are here that we'll be sharing. It might be like a hot Pilates kind of thing. Okay, that is what it is. So join the O-Kind group on like the Geneva app or whatever. I think Dom's actually going to be there as well. Yeah, she is. We're just going to be doing a lot of in-person community things. So join that. Come hang out with us. Come hang out. Okay, so we've been talking for a bit. We're going to end the show now. If you guys haven't already, go to theokind.com, shop the Dallas set. Oh, by the way, the first set is named the Dallas set. Very fitting. Yeah. The toe, the top, the pants, you'll wear it all the time. I am so excited for this launch. I'm elated. Elated. They can sign up for newsletters and text too. Yeah. You can, exactly. It'll be like your first pop-up when you get onto the site. You can subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok too. We're going really crazy on both. Yeah. Mainly TikTok, I would say. Yeah. Actually both. Yeah. We're posting probably more on Instagram, but anyways, follow us on both of those accounts. And we're doing a swap right now for Jessica's podcast, which she did start.
So I'll have that linked below. We're gonna have another 45 minutes of us chatting. If you guys just already miss us so much, don't worry, there's more. If you guys are watching on YouTube, thanks for watching. I love you guys so much. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you next Thursday.
Bye.
Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know by giving it a nice thumbs up and subscribe for more.